Hi, I'm Anqoinette Crosby, and welcome to County Report This Week. Coming up in the next half hour, Marriott trains employees how to spot signs of human trafficking in its hotels. We'll have a full report. Plus, how county grants will be used to help secure selected places of worship. And later, MC offers a free drumming class to teach a cultural lesson. We begin with the census. We are still 15 months away from Census Day on April 1st, 2020. But the county government has launched its outreach activities this week. Lorna Virgili has more about a new campaign and committee.
Everyone counts in Montgomery. That's the county's theme for the 2020 Census Communications Campaign. County Executive Mark Elrich and Council President Nancy Navarro signed a joint proclamation officially launching the United States Census 2020 outreach activities in the county.
It also affects the flow of money because a lot of state and federal programs are obviously population dependent. So if we miss people, we won't get our fair share of resources that otherwise would come to the county. And we're dealing in a climate, as you well know, of a lot of the immigrant community being afraid of being identified as immigrants. And there's the question that the Trump administration wanted to get on the census relating to citizenship. Those two things, have made people nervous about being willing to step forward and be counted. And part of this effort is to make sure that we've got communities leaders saying it's safe, we need you to be counted, you'll be okay.
The county has instituted a complete count committee composed of community volunteers whose mission will be to ascertain that everyone participates in the 2020 census.
You are the ones that I know are going to make this happen. It is so critical that everybody understand that everyone counts in Montgomery County, that every single person needs to know that we are here to listen, to acknowledge, and also to protect their right to participate.
Questionnaires will not be automatically mailed to each American household as in the past. Instead, the form will be accessible 3 different ways. The online form will be available mid-March 2020. Via the telephone, people will be able to answer the questionnaire by calling a toll-free number or by hard copy. But to obtain the mail form, households will have to call to get it. For more information, visit census.gov.
Human trafficking is not only a problem across the country, but also here in our county. One local corporation is taking the lead in the fight against this global crime. Susan Kennedy has the story.
As National Human Trafficking and Slavery Prevention Month came to a close, Montgomery County-based Marriott Corporation announced it has trained more than 500,000 of its employees on how to recognize the signs of human trafficking. It's a global epidemic that affects more than 40 million people worldwide.
Recognizing those statistics and the gravity and the scale of the issue, there's a positive role that business can play, and certainly for a multinational corporation like Marriott, where we have people all over the world. And so for us as an employer, what can we do to really leverage our business model, our scale, and our visibility to address this issue and really be a part of the solution?
Through the training, on-site hotel workers learn how to be the eyes and ears and report their suspicions to management. Rincha tells us depending on where a worker is in a hotel, behavior of these criminals may vary. The training educates employees to recognize certain behavior that might be occurring on their watch.
No one single indicator leads to human trafficking. What we really educate hotel workers to really look for is a combination of indicators that may lead to suspicious activity that could be potentially human trafficking. And if they come across a combination of these types of indicators that creates this kind of suspicious narrative, to report it immediately to management, who will then review and assess the situation and, of course, work with law enforcement as appropriate.
Councilmember Tom Hucker has been a voice in the fight against human trafficking here in the county.
That we're a hostile environment for them, and they should not come here, and if they do, they will be arrested and they will be prosecuted.
Officials have identified hotels in Silver Spring and Gaithersburg where there have been arrests made for human trafficking. Recently, the County Council recognized the many county groups who are partnering to reduce the local impact of human trafficking. He says education and awareness are key in solving this universal problem.
This is an emerging and rapidly changing criminal enterprise, and it's really important to train the public, especially those members of the public that are going to come into contact with it, in hotels in particular, to look for the signs. The public in general needs to know that, but members, workers in the hospitality industry in particular, come into contact with victims and potentially with traffickers. They really need to be informed of the signs so they know what to report to law enforcement.
We actually put out a survey to all the hotels and motels in Montgomery County to determine what they're actually doing around human trafficking, and Marriott was one of the leaders in that. So I think that the corporate community has a large responsibility in all of this.
Since launching its program, Marriott's training has resulted in young people being removed from dangerous situations. Rinches says understanding these events do occur on their properties and they have a role to play is a part of the corporation's core values of putting people first.
And that there is a role that we can play to make a difference. And certainly through awareness training, being able to educate hotel workers on what to look out for and what to do, it's actually led to an impact. We have seen cases where individuals, particularly young children, have been safely removed from harm's way and reunited with their families as a result of hotel workers on property seeing something, saying something, and working directly with law enforcement as needed.
The Marriott Awareness Program is having an impact beyond its workforce. The company donated the training to academia and the hotel industry. Reporting from Bethesda, I'm Susan Kennedy for County Report This Week.
Awards were recently handed out to companies that are going the extra mile to help our community through their employee volunteer programs. MyMC Media's Jordan Lindsay has more.
More than 200 people attended the annual Leadership Montgomery Corporate Volunteer Awards Luncheon in Potomac. The goal of the event was to honor companies that are going above and beyond to support the local community through employee volunteer engagement.
So it's really important that we celebrate corporations here in Montgomery County who are giving back, because that encourages other corporations to give back, and it makes it for a better community here in Montgomery County.
Allison Solomon, who is the Corporate Citizenship Manager for Deloitte, was the keynote speaker.
I'll be speaking about ways that these companies can kind of think a little differently about corporate volunteerism. I'm going to be really honing in on leadership and culture. And how that affects the community and the support that we're providing here in Montgomery County.
Organizations and businesses were recognized in a variety of award categories.
So we're actually giving out 6 different awards, starting with the evolving volunteer all the way down to the individuals who are giving back. And so there are companies like Quinter Design and Shapiro and Duncan that we are focusing in Bar T because they've done individual things throughout this community to give back.
Several business leaders and elected officials were among those who attended.
It's a day for thank yous. It's a day that everyone should realize how much they're appreciated for doing what they're doing. Because candidly, we don't always do that. Somebody will take it for granted. They expect it just to have been solved by magic. And of course it's not. Somebody had to take the time and effort to do it. So that's what today's all about, and I'm proud to be here.
We are really excited to have this event every single year to focus on why Leadership Montgomery is here in the county and how we're giving an impact. It's really important that we take time to highlight companies who take time out of their business to actually give back. And Leadership Montgomery is all about a network of engaged individuals, and so that's what we're really focusing on today.
Reporting in Potomac, Jordan Lindsay for County Report This Week.
Coming up on County Report This Week, local places of worship are vying for county grants that will keep them protected. And the county wants to honor volunteers that make our community a better place. How you can nominate someone for these special awards. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Did you know there are more than 10,000 county government phone numbers? But there's only one number you need to remember for non-emergency calls, 311. MC 311 is Montgomery County government's online telephone information system. Need information? Have a problem or complaint? Trying to locate a county government facility? Call 311. The call center is open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The website is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
In Montgomery County, we have a goal to reduce waste and recycle 70% of all waste by 2020. By recycling and reducing waste, we save natural resources and make our community even better. So recycle at home, work, school, everywhere, and keep recycling going. For more information, call the Montgomery County, Maryland Division of Solid Waste Services at 311 or visit montgomerycountymd.gov/recycling.
Keep it going. Recycle more now.
Welcome back to County Report This Week. I'm Anqoinette Crosby. Pedestrian safety continues to be a major concern for county authorities. This week on the county's Spanish language radio show, we got an update about the bus stop audit. It's a plan to improve engineering at some locations.
We have determined the need to evaluate bus stops and their locations to make sure that those locations aren't creating unsafe conditions for pedestrians. And so as we do that evaluation, as the Montgomery County Department of Transportation conducts that evaluation, there may be some bus stops that will be relocated away from signalized intersections to places where logical crossing points for pedestrians have been known to occur. So that is set to happen. We're completing our evaluation now, and the locations that will be moved, the movement will start sometime this year.
The county's Vision Zero initiative focuses on the 3 E's. Those are education, engineering, and enforcement. The goal is to have 0 fatalities due to collisions involving drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists. Faith-based leaders have come together to say they need security at their local places of worship. MyMC Media's Jordan Lindsay explains how a Homeland Security grant plans to help.
$200,000 in grant funding has been approved for security purposes at local faith-based facilities throughout the county.
After the Tree of Life attack in October in Pittsburgh, then County Executive Leggett recognized that, and he was hearing from the faith community within Montgomery County that there was a lot of concern about the ongoing threat. We've seen a huge increase. FBI data bears this out of attacks or threats against faith-based facilities. And this is nationwide, not just in Montgomery County.
Stoddard says the funding will go towards those who have experienced hate crimes or who are at risk of becoming possible targets.
In some cases, people ask for either training or planning support or security assessments for their facilities. And so in those cases where they've only asked for a security assessment, we don't necessarily have to give them money per se, as long as we make the commitment to provide the security assessment ourselves.
I decided to speak with several different faith officials throughout the local community to get a better understanding as to why they think this is important. Reverend Terry Murphy with the Church of the Ascension in Silver Spring shares how she feels about it.
This is the story of Martha and Mary. It's needed because I think we live in a different kind of world right now. Growing up, I never would have thought to be worried about some of the things that we've seen on the news. And I think while the chances of any one congregation being targeted are pretty slim, it does happen. And we want to avoid as much of that and be prepared to do what we can do to keep our people safe.
And at the Jewish Community Relations Council,
we've seen over the past few years an increase in hate crimes, hate incidents, things like graffiti swastikas being painted, scratched into buildings. My own synagogue actually experienced it several years ago. And what we're seeing is threats made to the Jewish community, also the greater faith community as well. There have been churches, several African American churches have been vandalized in the county. Mosques have also been threatened. There have been threats to the Sikh community. So something like this is extremely important for the faith community in general.
We try to be warm and welcoming and inviting to anybody who wants to come into the building, but we need to protect our congregants, our schools, our children. So we need to have security in place so that if, God forbid, something happens, we're prepared.
And here at the Islamic Community Center of Potomac, they say this type of funding will help a lot.
With the impending rise of hate crimes based on religion, our community in particular, Muslims in general, have had a steady rise in the last few years.
Meanwhile, Stoddard says allocating the funds is the next step.
So there are, I think, 49 applicants totaling more than $815,000 in requests. Obviously, that's a leaves a huge gap. We have to make some really hard decisions about how we use the $200,000 that we have. And so, yeah, we're going to try and identify the most benefit that we can offer for the dollars that we have available to us.
Reporting in Gaithersburg, Jordan Lindsay for County Report This Week.
It takes a special person to give of their time to help others. So if you know of a volunteer in the county that's doing just that, here's a way for them to be honored. The Montgomery County Volunteer Center is now accepting nominations. They are for the Neil Potter Path of Achievement Awards and the Montgomery Serves Awards. The awards honor outstanding community leaders and volunteers. The county executive encourages residents to submit nominations of individuals, businesses, and community groups. The form can be found at montgomeryserves.org. Don't delay. The deadline is February 28th by 5 p.m. Coming up on County Report This Week, students at Rockville High School create an exhibit about their own immigration stories. And beautifying parks and neighborhoods during the MLK Day of Service. Stay with us. County Report This Week. We'll be right back.
We all know the stress of driving into downtown Silver Spring and the district, but thanks to Ride On, I don't have to worry anymore. Route 129 is a new limited stop bus route running both directions along the US 29 corridor, from Burtonsville Park and Ride to the Paul Serene Silver Spring Transit Center. There are even free, convenient park and ride lots along the route. Now my commute is relaxing. Plus I'm helping get cars off the road, reducing congestion and my commute time.
Ride On. Get there faster.
Welcome back to County Report This Week. I'm Anqoinette Crosby. Students at Rockville High School have designed a powerful new exhibit that has a personal aspect to it. It tells the stories of how the students' families came to Montgomery County from every corner of the world. MCPS TV attended the opening reception and brings us the story.
1 in 3 of the people in Montgomery County were born in another country. You know, you've got a ton of people from Asia and Eastern Europe and Africa and Central and South America, so we've got a great mix here in the county.
We're in the Belle Dawson House. Rockville High School students have taken over this space and they have installed and fully curated an exhibit that tells the story of how their families migrated to Montgomery County.
My favorite part was the kids had to design everything out and they had to pitch their ideas to the curator here at the Belle Dawson House.
They've delivered exactly what we're looking for and what we've needed to tell the stories of the people who live in our community.
In one way or another, every student, even if they were born and raised in Montgomery County, had the opportunity to find someone who came from somewhere else and learn about that culture and then share that with the rest of us here at the museum tonight.
One thing this project actually really taught me was more about my own father, and it also taught me about my classmates. I learned that the process of being an immigrant is not easy.
Well, beyond just what you see here in the museum, they've also developed a website. And so that in that way they can tell the stories in more depth and reach more people, and that will live beyond the life of the exhibition.
The museum is open Thursday through Sunday from noon until 4 p.m. We hope you'll stop by to see the stories told by the students' hard work. There's an organization in Rockville that works hard to support local businesses. Rock 11's Craig Buchanan sat down with its new executive director to find out how she plans to attract, grow, and retain companies in the city.
Rockville Economic Development Incorporated, or REDI, welcomes Cynthia Stewart as its new executive director. Stewart is an experienced commercial real estate lawyer and a skilled economic developer. She most recently served as the deputy city manager of Coral Springs, Florida, and has held other positions in Maryland, California, and Florida. Her background also includes art and theater. which helped draw her to town.
Rockville is a really great, inclusive community, and I really like the intelligent workforce here. I like the access to culture and things to do. I'm really glad to be back in the Maryland area, which is so strong in those areas.
The executive director of READY leads the organization to attract, grow, and retain businesses within Rockville so that job opportunities can rise.
I think Rockville is really poised for being able to move forward in this economy. We have a great opportunity with the downtown, with the development that's coming to Rockville Pike. Very strong biohealth sector and growing cybersecurity sector.
Cynthia is excited to work with READY's board of directors and the Rockville Mayor and Council to realize where Rockville can grow and appreciate what's important to the people here.
Which is education, it's having good jobs, having a place where your kids can grow up and come back to.
For more information about READY and the organization's current projects, head to rockvilleready.org. County Report this week, I'm Craig Buchanan.
Volunteers rolled up their sleeves to organize a day of service. Supplies provided by Montgomery Parks helped neighbors, parents, and students pick up trash and sent a caring message about their Clarksburg community.
My name's Doug Reimel. I'm on the board of directors of the Clarksburg Village Community Association. We really would like to make an effort in Clarksburg Village to take care of our natural woodlands that surround the community. We want to create a real amenity that out of our parks around our communities.
My role today is I'm a parent volunteer. My role is to help with the kids who want to help throughout the community, clean it up. We all live here. Don't step in food. Look, I'm seeing a big stuff right here. So don't. Here's some cigarette butts. So we thought it was very important to show taking pride in where we live and also give back as service, because many times we think about ourselves and we don't think about serving others and serving the community where we live. So my role today is to help the students fulfill their goal of performing service to the community.
Montgomery Parks Department supporting us with this is a tremendous asset to us because of all the equipment and the visibility. It helps get our students enrolled. It helps get people out in the community picking that trash up, because all of that eventually flows into those woodlands and eventually into the streams. And this is just a great program to teach people pick that trash up before it gets into our woodlands and our waterways.
Are you artistic? Do you want to help educate others about issues affecting our local streams? If so, the county's Department of Environmental Protection has just the contest for you. County residents are invited to enter the 2019 Storm Drain Art Contest. The deadline is February 22nd. The contest will use art to educate the public about the connection between our storm drains, streams, and the bay. In April, the artwork of 5 winners will be painted on storm drains in Germantown. This is to honor Earth Day. For more info, go to mygreenmontgomery.org/art. Coming up on County Report this week, an exciting Raptors recap. We have all of your hoops highlights. Plus, our pet of the week needs a home and some extra TLC. We'll explain. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, mister, down here. You illegally passed the stop school bus. I'm placing you in timeout, and this timeout means big fines, plus you really could have hurt somebody. That's why school buses are being equipped with video cameras to help kids like me stay safe, so respect the bus.
County residents are required by law to clear sidewalks in front of and alongside their properties within 24 hours of the end of a snowstorm. Working together, Montgomery County can stay safe and warm this winter. Good neighbors clear their sidewalks of ice and snow. For more information, call 311 or go to montgomerycountymd.gov/safe sidewalks.
Welcome back to County Report this week. I'm Anqoinette Crosby. Both MC basketball teams closed out their regular season with a crucial doubleheader this past weekend. MCTV's Michael Brown tells us what else made these games pretty special.
Prior to taking on the Beaver County Community College Titans from Pennsylvania in a doubleheader, MC honored and celebrated the graduating sophomores from both the men's and women's basketball teams, as well as the Raptors cheer team. The women's team honored a quartet of graduating sophomores: Kennedy Cross, Lauren Nelson, Avril Bennett Stewart, and Jasmine Obas. The men's team honored a trio of sophomores: Eli Arnold, Vince Rose, and Freddie Harris, while the cheer team recognized two sophomores, Amber Garrison and Kendall Turner. And then it was time to hit the court, and the MC women's team came out on fire to score the first 18 points of the game and led 35-8 after the first quarter. But they didn't relax a bit with the comfortable lead. They kept their foot on the gas to lead by 21 at the half, were up 85-38 after three quarters, as they easily rolled to their 15th win of the season, 115-44. Every Raptor scored in this one, with 5 hitting double figures. Freshman Jordan Odom led the way with 22 as the Raptors geared up for the start of this week's Maryland JUCO tournament on Thursday. On paper, the men's half of the doubleheader looked like a mismatch. MC came in at 13-11 overall, having dropped 7 straight, while the Titans came in ranked 9th in the country with a record of 19-2. But the Raptors were not intimidated in the least and gave the Titans all they could handle and more. MC fought back from a large first-half deficit to trail by just 9 at the break, and then they tied it at 47 midway through the second half. From then on, it was a battle to the buzzer, with the Raptors continually fighting back as they trailed by just 4 with a minute left. But that was as close as they could come as they fell 78-73 in a heartbreaker to the nationally ranked Titans. For County Report This Week, I'm Michael Brown.
A free class at Montgomery College is teaching a valuable lesson through music. MyMC Media's Jordan Lindsay has more.
In this class, a lesson comes with each drum beat.
This class is an introductory class so that people who are at the university and in the community can experience learning about West African drumming, particularly the djembe orchestra.
Anqoinette taught a free African Manding drumming class at Montgomery College in Rockville on Tuesday.
And then after, I'm gonna say do 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 da da da.
And Manding drumming derives from countries in West Africa such as Mali and Guinea.
They learned in synopsis some history about where the instrument is from. They learned some of the primary notes of how to be able to properly articulate the instrument, and they learned how to be able to play together in ensemble.
So make sure you tap. When you tap right here. Yes.
Gabrielle Zui is a Montgomery College student. She says this was a great experience.
I really enjoyed it. I think it's really important to learn about the music of different cultures because all music and all people are really interconnected.
If you have an opportunity to just step into, a realm of awareness of something you may not know about, to experience a different culture, and it's a way to relieve stress, it's a way to balance out the norms of the day with something creative and something inclusive of everyone.
Reporting in Rockville, Jordan Lindsay for County Report This Week.
Now it's time to meet our pet of the week. This is Gibson. He's a domestic, short-hair male cat that is neutered. At 2 years old, Gibson will spend hours chasing a feather or just curled up next to you. Sweet, funny, and oh so handsome, Gibson really needs some extra TLC. You see, he has unfortunately been diagnosed with kidney disease and is on a special diet. His adoption fee is waived, and part of his post-adoption care is sponsored for the lucky family who welcomes him into their hearts and home. To learn more about Gibson, please call the Montgomery County Animal Services and Adoption Center at 240-773-5900 or visit Gibson on the web at montgomerycountymd.gov/ASD. With that, we close this edition of County Report This Week. Remember to like us on Facebook and to join us again at this time every week for a look at what's going on inside Montgomery County. I'm Anqoinette Crosby. Thank you for watching.